Right. So very good morning, all of you. So the one by one join Kinnera, Akila on the line, and a few more also join. Hope shortly will be Vijkesh, Bhavani. Good morning, all of you. So as usually, let's welcome for this weekend current affairs. So very glad if any questions that you have before we start the class. Any questions, queries, online or offline? Right. Hope nothing. Let us getting into this week issues. So the news flash that Egyptian president to be the guest. Okay, the chief guest for this year Republic Day parade. Right. So for last 2 years, okay, 21, 22. So Republic Day passed on without any chief guest. Hope you are aware the COVID scenario and other minor reasons. Every year, once we are celebrating Republic Day, that day you will have the chief guest from other countries. Hope you are aware Republic Day when we will celebrate the LKG UKG question, right? January 26th. That day India became republic. Okay, so that point you have to keep in mind very much. No doubt that day the Indian Constitution came into force. But my dears, remember the fact that the constitutional day, the law day, is different. Okay, the day when we adopted the Indian Constitution, right? Hope you remember. What is that? When we adopted Indian Constitution, or when we can say the Constituent Assembly adopted and finalized the Indian Constitution, right? Akhilesh, we mentioned November 26, 1949. So that November 26, 1949, yeah, Himabindu too. Good. Jagan, that is the thing is concerned, one by Ashma. So that is the constitutional day. Then why we called it January 26, Republic Day? Of course, this is India became republic. And the point that you have to keep in mind is the meaning of the republic is very important. Republic. So when you say this word re, this is nothing but elected. Who elected? Public is by people. Elected by people. Whom we are electing? The head of the state. That is the president. If the president of any country is elected directly or indirectly, only that country we call it as republic. Okay. For example, Britain is not republic because there it's a monarchy, the king. If the king or queen, okay, recently the queen passed away, so the queen taken over. So it's hereditary, not republic. So the first time in the history, the India became republic. So we thought of making a symbolic, so we have given that republic. Even that day, the flag will be hosted by the president, whereas August 15th is by the prime minister. Even the difference, I'm sure that you are aware of that aspect. Okay, and once in civils as well as the groups prelims, the question posed: India became republic. Good. January 26, 1950. Our first president Rajendra Prasad assumed office on the day. Good. But 1947 itself we got independence. What is the status of India between 1947 to 1950? So what is status of India? It's not republic. It's not under foreign control. Yeah, Jagan mentioned Himabindu Cut is a dominion status. So when you use the dominion, it is an elected is republic. If it is not elected, not hereditary, but still a nomination will happen, appointment, then that country we called as dominion. And here the Britishers left, but still the Governor General initially continued. The Mountbatten, the first Governor General of Free India, let Rajagopalachari, the second Governor General of Free India, but the first Indian Governor General of Independent India, Rajagopalachari. So these two performed the role of the head of the state. So the republic. So those quick facts you can recollect. Now this year we invited the Egyptian president Abdel Fattah, okay, LCC, as the chief guest. So we're having very wonderful relations with the Egypt from the beginning, and it is the 75th year of our establishing diplomatic relations we're approaching. So when India independence day celebrations last year onwards, the 75th is going on. So that clearly shows from the beginning, India and Egypt share the common ideals, common visions, and we are going ahead. And most important thing, because after the independence we got it, and number of Afro-Asian countries became independent, small countries from the clutches of the colonial rules. The similar scenario is that at the time the world divided into two: American bloc and Russian bloc. Account some scenario of the Cold War, a war without war, a verbal war. So some countries want to be an American, some countries Russian. And India thought, why should we? And it's not a neutral. We will be active, but at the same time, we will not join in any power bloc, neither with American nor Russian. And we'll judge the things on its merits. And that stand is called as, anybody can guess? Because at the time, it's the non-aligned, not aligning either with American or Russians. And Indian perception was shared by a number of countries too. Among this, Egypt is the one. Yeah, Himabindu mentioned the non-aligned policy became the movement with the help of Egypt. So when you say this, Egypt is the founder member of NAM. So we have, when you say this NAM, India, Egypt, okay, then Indian Prime Minister Nehru, the Nasser of Egypt, Desmond Tito of Yugoslavia. Okay, there these three we call the trio of non-aligned movement. The trio of non-aligned movement. And number of times in the competitive examination that question too posed. Non-aligned as a policy turned into a movement in 1961. Even today, though Now and then there are no two power blocks, but still its independent assertion not to be a permanent ally of any power block is still relevant. Okay, why non-alignment still is going on is because of that independent stand, independent assertion in its policy making is the relevant even today, and Egypt is one of the only member of this non-aligned movement. So then Prime Minister of India Nehru, the Nasser of Egypt, and Desmond Tito of Yugoslavia. They show you on this part. Then one more thing also we can maybe shortly we are going to have this year, next year, G20 summit, and we also invited the Egypt, okay, along with the Bangladesh, United Arab Emirates, that UAE, Mauritius, Netherlands, Nigeria, Oman, Singapore, and as well as the Spain. What for? G20 summit. So they're coming as a guest. So being the host country, yes, we can invite few more guests as well. So Egypt is also one among the guests. Right? So that point you have to keep in mind. As the G20 concept arises, next year the process started and December 1st, right? So we had taken over the presidentship of G20 and all the news flashed, right? So the India illuminated here. So around 100 monuments lit up with the G20 logo the day when we taken over the issue. So including the Red Fort, okay, Royal Palace, Mandu, Sanchi Stupa, even there's also be this. Then Mahabalipuram, all this, okay, the important monuments they were lit up. So I'm sure that, okay, the last week and so we discussed a lot on G20. Okay, let us skip it for today. Any doubts on G20? Is a group of combination of developed and developing countries. 19 countries plus European Union. Okay, and 2023 summit in the month of November we are going to held. Now the presidency continues. Okay. Then another thing, when this is going on and India is gearing up its mate for next year summit of the world leaders in India. No doubt in international arena it seems that India wanted to play a greater role, and especially in this Asia Pacific region. And China too wanted to play the role. Perhaps keeping that in mind or anything else, okay, the Chinese interest. China initiated a new forum called that China India, okay, China, this is one, Indian Ocean Region Forum. Okay. So normally so generally when you use the word IO or Indian Ocean region, here is the China also came. Already Indian Ocean Regional Association is going on. It's existing. Now China wanted to lead a separate forum. Okay. So nearly 19 countries attended this forum meeting. So it looks like, as India was not invited, so it looks like countering India's strong influence in Indian Ocean region. Because present IORA, Indian Ocean Rim Association, is India backed. So this they want it as the China backed. So China wanted to play a crucial role rather than giving the leadership to India. So a geopolitics is on. But anyhow, from our premise point of view, remember these full forms, and from the mains point of view, the analysis continues. So when you say this Indian Ocean, so this is how. Okay, the Indian Ocean region, you'll find there so many countries. Can anybody guess how many countries right now Indian Ocean Association? IORA. Hmm? Anything from the online? 23 or 24? Okay, it's not that. No R here. Okay, so starting itself is right. Right, Kinera mentioned right, 23 only. Right. At 23 member states, initially called as IOR ARC, Indian Ocean Region Association for Regional Cooperation. Later, they made it as initiative, IOR initiative. Right now, we are calling it as association. So, three names for this IOR organization. So, within this Indian Ocean region, you wanted to have a close cooperation. Even you establish a secretariat based in Mauritius part. Here, India, because the Indian Ocean is the only ocean in the world, is named in a way after India. Okay, well, and India is trying to establish a strong relationship with all these nations. And Modi, after he came to power in 2015, initiated the concept called Sagar, that is security and growth. Sagar, security and growth for all in the region. Security and growth for all in the region. So they want to achieve the cooperation among the all the littoral countries of the Indian Ocean here. At the same time, the India initiated another one called IONS, the Indian Ocean Naval Symposium. It wanted to seek increased maritime cooperation among the navies of the region. So specifically on this, and recently, even a meeting was held in France. The France is the current chair of this Indian Ocean Region Commission and the Indian Ocean Naval Symposium. Now we wanted to go ahead and establishing the cooperation in different arena of the so-called the blue economy. All this Indian Ocean Naval Symposium, when you're talking about, you are the South Asian littoral states, West Asian littoral, East Africans, as well as the Southeast Asians. Just for this is your information in a way, okay? Because the Indian Ocean become very crucial nowadays, not just in geopolitics or geoeconomy, okay, for all the way. The cooperation conflicts looks like anything may happen here, and the essence is the peaceful existence. Innumerable resources are there. You have to properly utilize that both the natural and human resources. So Indian Ocean become very crucial part in this scenario, and every nation wanted to establish its base in one form or the another. And America is having its base from long time. For example, American naval base, Diego Garcia. Okay, it kept its seventh fleet in Diego Garcia in Indian Ocean. So like every country, and China too wanted to have its own naval presence, and Djibouti naval base is the full-fledged Chinese naval base in Djibouti. And apart from this, the Gwadwar in Pakistan. Of course, it's not directly linked with Indian Ocean, but when it's come to this, right, Arabian Sea, it's linking with this Indian Ocean, the part Hambantota, Sri Lanka. So this Hambantota Gwadwar, this concept is Chinese BRI, Belt and Road Initiative. And out of this Belt and Road Initiative, you have the two concepts. I'm sure that one is road and rail connectivity, another is port connectivity. So this maritime Silk Road, which we called it, okay, officially, connecting the different ports of countries. And Indian Ocean, as the Chinese is concerned, is in Sri Lanka, is in Pakistan, then there's Maldives, Maldives directly in the Indian Ocean. So we're trying to contact. So China wanted to revive its maritime Silk Road with this port connectivity. So China wants that all the countries of the Indian Ocean need to cooperate with China, and it's ready to establish its bases in all the countries so that its purpose of connectivity will be served and it will contribute that country's development. Okay, that is Chinese version. But anyhow, the Hambantota port, you are aware of it. So it's in Sri Lanka. China spends a lot for the development of Hambantota port, and Sri Lanka is also happy in the beginning. But it so happened that that project now in the hands of China. Simple reason is Sri Lanka not able to repay its debt. Okay, whatever it taken is. Again, the reason is Hambantota port become unproductive. So commercial touch is not there. So once it is not able to generate income, they're the biggest problem. And most of these Chinese projects nature is become that, and these developing countries become debt ridden in this issue. So here, this is most of a mains perspective question. So those who are getting ready for this group 1 mains, directly is going to be helpful. And anyhow, the prelims, the few bits of IOR, you have to keep in mind. Okay. So any doubt on this IOR? So remember this, whatever we're talking about, this Indian Ocean Commission, okay, is also intergovernmental body created in 1984 to protect the interests of the Western Indian Ocean islands. Then Indian Ocean Naval Symposium. Then back to another item, the India-US exercise near LAC is China. So when India and US having the army, in what way? Because the Yudh Abhyas at Tapovan in Uttarakhand, okay, Tapovan area. So Yudh Abhyas is an Indian and US Army joint exercise. So wherever you conducted, it doesn't matter. As is conducted near LAC, that is line of actual control, is a de facto border between India and China. So naturally, it hit China. And we deliberately put it because in recent years, China always entering into Indian territory, again going back. So creating a lot of influence. And one of the reasons is very clear after 1962 war, because you know pretty well, right? During 1962 war, it occupied mainly two areas. Aksachin in Ladakh area, now present Ladakh, previous Jammu and Kashmir. Then some parts of Arunachal Pradesh. Even it described Arunachal Pradesh as its own only, complete Arunachal Pradesh, and described it as a South Tibet. So it has an eye on that. And Aksachin it don't want to be. So instead of returning our land, instead of even clarifying, because the McMahon line now become irrelevant after 1962, which is a de jure border line, McMahon line, now become LAC, even no clarity from the Chinese perspective what actually the LAC is, line of actual country. Where, okay, whenever Chinese entered inside and when we stop them, oh, sorry, then they will go back. But the thing is that the Chinese mindset, they want to occupy inch by inch. So just one step forward. If we don't observe, they will put the second step. Still not observed, third step. Once you said, hey, why you are coming, then they will take one step back. So two steps they occupy. So that's how the Chinese intention and the India's and you know pretty well the Galwan Valley incident 2 years back. Okay, also in this issue. So now that America looks like having very good rapport with India, unlike once upon a time, and America and China, the politically at what you call some sort of you and me way, though it's not a confrontationist or the clashes, but we can say some sort of an aggressive competition is going on between America and China, a new version of new Cold War. Natural America is looking towards India for its maximum support. It's nothing but a geopolitics. So America and China clearly, America and India clearly wanted to send the message to China. No perceptual difference, no excuses. Isn't it? Even if you entered, either deliberately or by mistake, you have to pay the price. Now, America ready to stand with India. So that symbolically it won't show off and naturally that it is. So China expressed its anguish over this grill. Then asked America also not to interfere in Indio-China relations. So let us see how it is going to take place. Then one more international issue at the same time is India and Bangladesh established contact as more Kukchi-Chin refugees are expected to enter Mizoram. Here from 1971 onwards, the number of refugees are coming to India from Bangladesh. Okay, and because of lakhs of refugees coming from Bangladesh, and we thought of a rendering helping hand. So one of the reasons 1971 in the Bangladesh Liberation War, India's involvement in that war scenario. And this sort of refugee entry is still going on. So whom we call the refugee, because these you have to understand the term very clearly, they are different from migrants. So migrants, they'll go to other countries for betterment, either in their career, financial benefits, or something else. But whereas, I mean, maybe legal, illegal migrants again. Legal is everything process, passport, visa process. Illegal is without knowledge of somebody, or sometimes you have to go there and you'll stay back there. When it comes to the refugees, these are the people which are going to other countries to protect their lives. Because when their lives are in threat, one reason or another, they are getting persecuted in their country. Because of that persecution that is happening, number of people coming out. Now you can see this in Myanmar, the refugees now coming to Bangladesh, right? What is the name of those refugees coming from Myanmar to Bangladesh? Hope you are aware. So is it Jagan mentioned persecution or lack of opportunities are not there in their own country? Okay, right. So Rohingyas. So Rohingyas are the Sunni Muslims staying in Myanmar and Rakhine state. They too get persecuted. Of course, the Myanmar is the Buddhistic, so their cultural intrusions they don't want to tolerate. So they are sending them out. The military, the Tattvamada, playing a critical role there. So, in search of their protection of the life and property, they are running away virtually and take the shelter in other countries. Even Rohingyas are in such a way that because the Rakhine state is the bordered with the sea, okay, by Bengal, right? So they used to carry the boats and move towards whenever their villages was attacked by the army and others. And there are occasions when the village to villages were burned down. So boat people they are called as. Anyhow, India is not signatory to any UN refugee convention. So because of that, we are least bothered in a way. So if you like, by case, will permit in a way, not completely. And India is facing already the problem from 1971 from the Bangladesh. Number of people came here, and recently we amended our Citizenship Act, CAA, Citizenship Amendment Act 2019, by which we granted, that means we permitted to take the citizenship from this Bangladesh, but restricted to 6 communities: the Hindus, Buddhists, Jains, Parsis, Christians, but excluded the Muslims. And there's some protest as well. And now that you are saying this, other than these people, this cookie, when you say this, they can say there's a tribals too, staying in Bangladesh. So there is some sort of the persecution is also happening. So now they are coming too. So the Indian government has to take the steps. So nearly 270 the Caucasian refugees crossed out India, fearing an attack from Bangladesh security forces. So that itself is very clear is a lifetime threat for them, and they are expecting that 150 more too they may come. So here the point in the Hindu mention: India is not a signatory of United Nations Refugee Convention of 1951 or 1961, but still, on humanitarian grounds, we try to help them out on the way. Then, any doubts hitherto? Any clarifications before we step into this topic? No? Okay. Then, the one more thing, and the other day we got this India to assume chairmanship of Wassenaar arrangement. Okay, that's also from 1st Jan 2020. So G20, then of course SCO, those two summits is going to be happening in India 2023. And similarly now the Wassenaar arrangement chairmanship is also assumed by India. So 2023 become a memorable year perhaps in future. Okay, as number of things is going to happen. So the 26th plenary summit is going to be held. And here this you have to keep in mind is India joined only 5 years back. That's in December 2017. India joined as the 42nd participating state in this Wassenaar arrangement. And the big question is, what is Wassenaar arrangement? Okay. So the G20s, perhaps you are aware, SCOs, you are aware. And here they use the word Wassenaar, not even agreement, arrangement. So what it's all about? Anybody have any idea? What is this Wassenaar arrangement? So no answer. Okay. Here you have to keep in mind is that its Wassenaar arrangements is nothing but a multilateral export control regime. Okay. As it was established in Wassenaar, that's in Netherlands, it was named after that city name. So 1996 it was established. So what for? No doubt it wanted to establish regional, international security and stability by how? By promoting transparency and greater responsibility in the transfer of where conventional arms and dual use goods and technologies. Okay. So when it says that control, export control is regarding the transfer of conventional arms. So that is one thing, conventional arms. Okay. Another thing is the dual use goods and technologies. Conventional arms, we don't have the much difficulty, but when it comes to the dual use, because something can be utilized, for example, when you say the knife, you can simply use that knife for what? Cutting your apple, say, cutting the vegetables. At the same time, you can cut the throat of somebody else. So you can kill him. So when you say this, a positive negative angle that carries. Similarly, when you say this nuclear technology can be used for constructive and destructive purpose. You know pretty well, right? America dropped a nuclear bomb in 1945 itself in the Japan cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Even today, the people are suffering. Isn't it? It's a destruction. When you are using nuclear power for power generation, for cancer treatment, right? Is a positive. This is the dual use. And especially here, this nuclear related, it wanted to make it more. Okay. So the Wassenaar arrangement is towards this. Here, one point, quick recollection you have to make it is after 1962 war with China, 65 with Pakistan, or when the war itself is going on, then Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri, 65, right, is concerned. The thought of this, yes, we need to go for nuclear, though the Nehru is dilly-dallying to go for nuclear or not, because other countries are going at this when India can this, and Vikram Sarabhai, Homi J. Baba, they are playing a very crucial role in the science and technology area at that point of time. So when Shastri almost nodded to go ahead, the latter 1971 war made very clear that yes, we have to go. Okay, so the result, you know that. Here, when 1968 is very crucial here, NPT was signed. Okay, Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, which came into force from 1970, commenced from 1970, because the concerned countries has to ratify. The ratification is very important. Correct. So by the time it is nearly 191 countries are the present members of NPT, right? Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, like NATO, Americas, okay, MECR, yeah. So among these countries, is it India is there or not there? So India is not a signatory of this NPT, Nuclear Non-Proliferation. We considered it as discriminatory. Discriminating between haves and have-nots. Here is who is having the nuclear weapon states and non-nuclear weapon states. So these nuclear weapon states, which we call P5 countries, America, Britain, China, France, and Russia. Okay, P5 is permanent 5 countries in Security Council. They can have the nuclear, but other countries should not have nuclear forever. So India is of the opinion, even in 76, it's 68 itself, that why you are restricting other countries. In future, will it not lead to blackmailing? Or you want to have the upper hand or have a negotiating urge? Others will be at your mercy. What is the need for? Because Indians, we learned a lot. No doubt now you wanted to ready to extend the protection. But in the course of time, what is to happen? The protector may swallow. Right? The protector may swallow. That's what no, the lessons of Indian history itself shows. When the Britishers introduced a policy called subsidiary alliance. Okay, you know pretty well that no subsidiary alliance. With that, the Britishers extended security cover to the princely states. In the course of time, what's happened? Those was annexed by the British for one reason or the another. That's what the fence has eaten the crop. Okay. So Telugulo ఉంటుంది కంచె చేను వేసినట్టు. So there's a possibility that today you may extend your security cover, but what is going to happen in future is a bigger question mark. Okay, so we are against that. And 1971 war with Pakistan regarding Bangladesh is also very clear that because America came in support of Pakistan plus sent its 7th fleet from Diego Garcia. Just now I said Diego Garcia is American naval base in Indian Ocean. Diego Garcia. and Seventh Fleet is there, and it came. Then immediately we signed a peace and friendship treaty with Russia. Attack on any country treated as attack on every country. So Russia came in support. So at the time the war was averted and Russian ship took the U-turn and back. Sorry, American ships took the U-turn and back. So our fears get real. Yes, it's right. Then Indira Gandhi thought, let's go for nuclear. She expedited our nuclear programs. And you know pretty well, in 1974, right? The first nuclear explosion we made. Okay? Peaceful explosion. We called it nuclear peaceful NP. Ours is for the peaceful purpose and not for. And India committed no first use. NFU we call. So we'll say it is no first use. We will not use the nuclear bombs from the beginning. It's only for deterrent. So that others has to think twice or thrice before they attacking India. But if somebody dropped one bomb, we may drop 10 bombs. That's the next question. But we don't want to be an aggressor. So where we conducted our first nuclear explosion, hope all of you are aware, in Rajasthan, the Pokhran, we conducted the first nuclear explosion. Then the world realized that yes, we need to control India, otherwise it may become nuclear. Then all of you know this, energy came. Okay, energy is an offshoot of this India's peaceful nuclear explosion only, which we call Smiling Buddha. Nuclear supplier group. Just said is raw material is required. And which are the countries has raw material? Only among them they need to share, not to other countries. Now India want to be the member of energy and China is putting the block. What's the technical hold China is keeping? Reason is very simple. All the members of energy should be the members of NPT, nuclear non-proliferation. So it's asking India should sign NPT, then become energy. Isn't it? So all other countries are ready to be. Though we got one-time exemption from America under Indo-Civil Nuclear Deal, they call 123 agreement. Exemption from energy conditions. But all the time it may or may not possible. So the result is very clear. Then at one point in the 90s, America thought, okay, you are not listening. At least sign Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty, CTBT. Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty. No test will be conducted either on the ground, under the ground, in the sea, or in the ocean. Then where else will conduct? Still, India has some doubts. Something is going wrong, so we have not signed the CTBT also. Then our first guerrilla is in 90s, later 90s. America conducted tests. That is nothing but computer simulated tests. So they have the technology, computer simulated tests. We don't have. So, then the things came. The missiles India started developing. Our missile man, Abdul Kalam, right? The initiative. And we have Agni, Prithvi, Akash, Nag. So all these initial missiles. Now we are adding a lot the BrahMos, the cruise missile and everything. And these are now able to carry the nuclear warheads. So to control India, we have this MTCRK. MTCR, Missile Technology Control Regime. Initially, India is not a member. Now, India become the member of it. Then this Wassenaar arrangement. Now, in the beginning, India is not a member. Later, it became member. Then we have Australia group. Initially, India is not. Now it is a member. All these are actually established to control India. Now India has become, and only thing is we are waiting for this energy nuclear supplier group. So this is what Wassenaar meant, and when you say this Australia group, this also you have to keep in mind. It's also a multilateral export control regime, but it's an informal group. Okay, 85 itself it established. So it will identify those exports which need to be controlled so as not to contribute to the spread of chemical weapons. Okay, so this is mainly relating to the chemical weapons. And India is become the member in 2018, 17 in Wassenaar, 18 in Australia. Almost all simultaneous at the same time. It's an MTCR2. It become the member, and Australia, that is French Forest, is headquarters of this Australian group. So keep in mind this India's nuclear program. All these groups you have to remember and recollect. Any doubts? Then one more international issue is this an Aegean Sea. The Greece and Turkey have the rival claims over this one. So Greece is here, Turkey is here. So both are the members of NATO. You know pretty well, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Attack on any country, it is attack on an entire group. But now the problem is between these two countries only regarding the claims. So recently, it seems that the Turkey alleged that the Greece has been building 3 military presence in violation of international treaties. So once it is building up its military bases there, and Greece is saying that it is misinterpreting the treaties and it is having the legal justification to do so. Okay, so there is an airspace violations also happening. Here, one thing you have to keep in mind: in between on the sea, here you can see these are the lands. These all the white strips are the lands. When you don't have the proper demarcated line, the biggest problem arises. Even in the land border, you will have the issue. When the sea border, the biggest problem. Why? Because of mainly two concepts where we have to draw the line. Okay. So when the concept of you have 12 miles of territorial waters and 200 nautical miles of exclusive economic zone is there. 12 miles here is the smaller one because it was treated as that part is that. But later, once extend up to 200 nautical miles or the midway, whatever be, you can explore the natural resources, isn't it? Is the part. So from where we have to draw when so many islands comes under it? Shall we draw from here or from here? That itself is the bigger. Even the issue get resolved. Okay. and this sort of the things, the problems. So they have to sit together and draw the mid path all the time. Okay, something like this. When these all the things, right? There's only option. Yeah. So regarding the sources, this issue is there. And once you started establishing a military base, when this is Greece says, so within this territorial jurisdiction they can, because 12 nautical miles, for example, if they have this is comes under the Greece, so from here they will treat, or from here they will treat. So if that be the case, it is near to here, near to them in the few places when it be. So the line that, so how you are interpreting, where the baseline you have to take. So these all the issues has to be sorted out by sitting. If not one time, two times, three times, 100 times if necessary, then only the issues can be resolved. So anyhow, the NATO is there. Hope this won't escalate to the warlike scenario, because again, airspace violations are also happening, because in this Chicago Convention 1965 permitting the civilian crafts, but the military crafts and the war crafts it can't be. It should take the due permissions. But we will say this is our silence only those things, and now the military bases movements is but natural that okay, the military aircrafts will move. So that's a violation. So that has to be sorted out. Surely, hope positive things may arise. Then coming to the local, we have this Maharashtra and Karnataka. Also the border disputes, not only there, and on this Belgavi issue. And Karnataka CM, and of course Maharashtra Deputy CM Minister. There's a word of war of words, we can say, in this scenario. So they again the border issue, and simply because I don't want to go much details in a way. So 1956, when the state were divided on the basis of language, Petival, on the recommendations of SRC, State Reorganization Commission headed by Fazil Ali, as it's a language based, feel that few Maratha speaking areas we kept in Maharashtra. And Karnataka now we feel that those are basically the Kandas and we want back those things. So the issues, even Andhra Pradesh, Orissa, the issue is on. Now Telangana, Andhra Pradesh and few villages. So all these border issues has to be settled amicably. Now then Assam is having innumerable border disputes with its neighboring states. So center has to step in. Even there's a suggestion that a border, internal border commission need to be established to look into this issue and resolve peacefully. So let's see this how it is going to be resolved. Then another is Uttarakhand Assembly recently passed the freedom of religion. Okay, amendment bill. Of course, this is an amendment bill because freedom of religion is part and parcel of our fundamental rights. Article 25 to 28 is talking about right to freedom of religion. You know that very much. But here, the issue of anti-conversion issues are there. And recently, Supreme Court came up heavily also and asked the central government what steps you are taking for putting an end to this forcible conversions. Because as per the constitution, yes, you can convert from one religion to another. No doubt it is. But at the same time, it will be voluntary, not by force. Force includes the luring somebody with material gains or exercising some sort of undue influence or by fraud, all those things. So court says no. So in tune with that, the Uttarakhand Assembly passed this. Similarly, fundamental right to propagate religion under Article 25 does not include right to convert. The central government finally said to the Supreme Court also. Okay. So when Article 25, quick recollection, to three things it is talking. You have the freedom to profess, that is, adopt any religion of your choice. Freedom to practice, that is, the customs, usages, conventions associated with the religion. Then propagate. You can promote the religion, but here the arises of forcible conversions. Okay. For example, once upon a time you have Suddhi movement launched by Swami Dayananda Saraswati, the founder of RSS. It's a voluntary. So once upon a time you converted to Islam, now converted back to. So voluntarily can be done anything. The number of Christian missionaries. Okay, the people are converted, but the forcible conversion and this Christian missionaries, especially luring the people, especially the poor people, by giving some material benefits by false propaganda, etc. That's what the allegations are there. We don't know the ground realities, but the allegations are there. So now it come to the notice of Supreme Court and it asked, and central government now clearly stating that no doubt they have right to propagate the religion, but doesn't mean that you are right to convert other people into your religion. So that is what it implies. And as we discussed this issue a number of times, I'm just skipping this. So any doubt for you on the freedom of religion? Because number of times we discussed. Then CAA arbitrarily exclude Muslims, Sri Lankan Tamil refugees. So now the DMK file a case in Supreme Court. Lankan Tamil issue. You know that Citizens Amendment Act covers, okay, there are three countries: Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan. Okay, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Bangladesh. From these three countries, six communities. Who are those? Hindus, Buddhists, Jains, Sikhs, Parsis, and Christians. So it applies to only. So there are the three countries, six communities. So the Muslims excludes. And in these countries, Sri Lanka is not there. In this community, Tamilians are not there. Not only Muslims, Tamilians are also not there. And the few refugees are coming from Sri Lanka to Tamil Nadu because that is the border with us. And especially during the period of civil war in Sri Lanka. So when the LTTE regime, we can say. So what about them now? You are giving to one and excluding another. Already the Muslims are fighting. Now joined with. And they got the support from the Madras High Court as well. So Madras High Court interpreted in a different way. No doubt here Sri Lanka was not added, but here as they are the Hindus and most of the Tamilians are Hindus, let it be so. So Madras High Court said by applying the principles of natural justice or logically drawing the conclusion, yes, it is applied to them also. So in tune with this, even now the state government appealed in the Supreme Court stating that the CAA should include the Sri Lanka, should include the Tamilians, so that they should be given citizenship. So which act they are amending? Citizenship Act of which year? 1955. So that also you have to keep in mind. So Parliament passed Citizenship Act. Okay, detailed act in 1955. Whatever amendments happening in 2019 is the issue. Right? Any doubt? Then, of course, High Court upheld the appointment of Vice Chancellor Okay, because the issues is going on. So number of times we are discussing about this Kerala governors uprightness, and he appointed a vice chancellor and high court approved it. Okay, then government forms a panel to review the MGNREGA. So Mahatma Gandhi National Rural, okay, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme or Guarantee Act. So this was headed by the former Rural Development Secretary Amarjit Sinha. And of course, 3 months' time they're given to submit the report. Because from the beginning of Modi came to power, he is critical of this program. Even at one point, the BJP has the opinion that it is not properly utilized, because it's one of the biggest rural employment program wherein there will be a direct money transfer, okay, from government to people by providing a job, okay, a compulsory minimum days of work for them, and directly giving the money for the beneficiaries. But it looks like it was most often misused and abused rather than really used. So it's not properly structured. So to make it more effective, so what are the measures required? So in tune with this, now Amarjit Sinha committee was appointed. So this you can keep it. So this scheme guarantees, present day scheme, 100 days of unskilled work per year for every rural household. So currently it seems 15.51. So it's the biggest scheme in the world itself, covering so many people. So this Amarjit Sinha committee, keep in mind very much. Then of course now e-rupee for individuals. So last time we said is rupee only for the trial purpose. Now for individuals, so the digital cash you are getting in, and I'm sure that shortly you will experience all these things. But it's a different form for cryptocurrency. Then India's first vertical lift, as is the first, remember, the vertical lift railway sea bridge. So now 84%, and the pictures was released. Okay, on the bridge itself is the concern, where it is in the Pamba. Okay, Pamban bridge, 80% completed now. Okay, so let us hope the best. Shortly it will come into form. Then of course the PT Usha is going to be, looks like, elected to IOA, so Indian Olympic Association chief. She is going to be the first woman occupant of this top job. Anyhow, at this juncture, it's at 2 December 10th is the formal elections and everything. Then after that, will officially it will be announced. Right now, the possibilities of her election is very clear. She is going to be the chief. Then regarding this, now that the 2022 Grand Slams over, keep in mind all these Australians winners, French, Wimbledon, and US Open, the four we considered the things, okay, for your benefit. So for the men's single, Rafael Nadal; for women's single, Ashley Bartley; then for French Open men's single, Rafael Nadal; women's IGS Rustic; and Wimbledon, Novak Djokovic; men's single, Serbia; and Women's Elena Angier. For US Open, Carlos and Women's AG. So when it's common, if you find this, Rafael is only Australian and French. You will find and nowhere else. And the women part, the French and US, the run women's part, single Svetak, you'll find okay twice. Other than this, all are the different. So once a combination, you can remember the things easily. Then Indira Gandhi Prize for Peace, Disarmament and Development. They go into Pratham. So Pratham is an NGO functioning in the field of education. Okay, and every year the Indira Gandhi Prize for Peace, Disarmament and Development will be given from 1986 onwards. It's a 25 lakhs monetary reward citation. So this award is for 2021. Then there's another place that is in the news, Imma Kaital. As External Minister, Jaishankar tweeted this Manipur Sima market. So this is a great example of Nari Shakti when you talk when this is concerned. All women, or who can say only the women will be there. So this is Imma Kaital or Mother's Market. If you translate it into English, that is an all women market, a largest such shopping complex in Asia itself is concerned. So 300 mothers are there who run the stall here. So all vegetables, fruit, fish, households, and everything will be like this. And all the male members, male vendors also, even shopkeepers are barred here. Okay. So no male can sell any goods there. If at all, that is a punishable offense. Then, of course, Telangana again in the news for it become integrated rocket facility, India's first integrated rocket facility. We are going to head with the sky route Asia. Then another news, Dhamma Deepa International Buddhist University. Okay, is coming up in South Tripura. Okay, so they laid the foundation stone here at Manu Bankal in sub-room of this Tripura, South Tripura. So it's the first Buddhist-run university in India to offer Buddhistic education along with the courses. Another discipline as well. Then, of course, again this week continues the conflict over collegium. Hope you're aware of this collegium, the panel of judges appointing the judges. So, our law ministry is very critical, and the battle is going on. So, let us see that the issue will be resolved shortly. Then, one more thing also regarding UN Security Council. India assumed the presidency again for this month from 1st December onwards of the Security Council. A quick recollection, India is already the member of Security Council but not permanent member, but the non-permanent member for a period of 2 years. So 21, 22 So this month end, December 31st, the India term is going to be over. And out of 15 countries, every month they will share the presidency because it meets in a month. There is a rotation presidency rises. Now the India got the chance as well in its last month of its term. So let's hope that it will do contribute something else in the last minute. So that's all for today's current affairs. Any doubts, clarifications? Hmm? Yeah, you may pose nothing. Right. Okay. Thank you very much. So see you next week. Bye.